I think all the fanboys are going to have something to say about this video. What's up? It's Bishop here for Tactical POV, and before I lose my sunlight here, I'm getting out late filming this still. I've been tied up all day to get at this thing just a little bit. I know you fanboys are going to say something, and I'm a fanboy too, but before I get started on this video, man, make sure you click that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Also sign up for my emails because I need to build my email list, because I know YouTube, they're demonetizing small gun channels, big gun channels. It's just what they do. We already know the bull crap that's involved with it though. So at least I can start an email list and get it out, notifications when my videos come out and when I got other things going on too. If I catch deals here, which I do. So I can pass that on to you. Also, if you want to help support my channel, you can, there's a link in the descriptions down below for a PayPal. You can also become a Patreon member as well. As I work on that page too. It's a lot to do, man. It is a lot to do. Trying not to spread myself too thin, but I think I am a little bit at least. But so now I got all of that stuff out of the way. Let's talk. I'm gonna give you the top 10 reasons why I think, honestly, the Glock 19 is probably the best overall EDC handgun on the market today. Overall, it's not perfect, okay, but in the realm of everything in concealed carry, I personally think that it is the best out there and still the best made. And I'm going to explain each one now, starting out with number one, simplicity. So simplicity of the Glock. This gun is basic. Now you guys know I had a Glock Gen 4 and I've shot the Gen 2, I've shot the Gen 3, Gen 4. I had on Gen 4, upgraded up to the Gen 5. But as far as the simplicity of this gun, and we all know, guys, we all know, Glock is just basic, man. It's a basic black square gun. Okay, there's nothing really fancy about this thing, and honestly, it's really not the prettiest looking gun out there. We all know. So, but the simplicity of this gun, man, stacks up other things along with it, which I think too. And number two, I'm gonna get to number two right now. So number two, practicality. This gun is very practical. Okay, it's along with simple, it's practical. It's the easiest damn thing to where it functions. Everything's functionality about this gun. Everything is just practical. There's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing extra you have to do to it. It's basically load it, pick it up, shoot. There you go. Simple. There's nothing more practical you can do outside of basically a revolver. So for a semi-automatic on this one, practicality works really, really well with the Glock. Number three, ergonomics. The ergonomic build of this firearm, and the reason why I'm holding like this is because it is loaded, but let's do this real quick and unload this thing. Oh, almost. Almost. Just missed my hand. So, the ergonomics of this gun, the angle of the grip, design definitely different. It's got a definitely more steep, more not so much of a 90 or square to a 90 degree as far as grip angle. The grip angle is, as you know, on Glocks, they're leaned in just a little bit more. And that's basically to get that hand in there deep and help manage recoil. That's the thing. This is the reason why this is angled in so hard, is to help manage the recoil. Another reason why the slide, everything is designed on the frame for the slide to be lower to the hand for leverage. You know, on some guns, now I've had different types of guns over the years, handguns from, God, the first gun I bought was a Beretta 92 FS. Why? We all know Lethal Weapon. Mel Gibson had Lethal Weapon 87. So loved that gun since then. And honestly, I seriously like to replace it. I sold it a long time ago and been trying to replace it ever since, and just one of those back burner projects. But as far as with that, I've had the Springfield. I've never owned a Smith. I've shot a lot of them. Never owned them. I've owned SIGs, owned Kimbers. Okay, I had them. Got in 1911 is still a piece of my heart. Okay, that will never go away. I have to admit, I'm still a 1911 man, so that will always, 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 forever have a piece of my heart with 1911s. Still love them to death till this day. But we're talking about practical EDC, everyday carry handguns. The ergonomics on this firearm, leverage-wise, weight-wise, everything. Now, of course, you know, with the polymer frame, you can do things to help weight these down a little bit. You know, you can go with either a solid, a more heavier guide recoil. A guide rod, for the recoil, dual spring, make it heavier. Also, you can also add weight inside in the grip here, because Glock has a spot right there, that little space in there, little stopper space. It actually makes weights for this here to give it just a little bit weight on this handle and this grip on the bottom end of this thing. So as far as for recoil and healing and everything, it helps that out. So still decent grip. And I know with the Gen 4 that I had, where it had the serrated, the individual groove fingertips, that was just one issue that I had with mine, was because, guys, you know, if you got big or thick hands such as me, or you got thicker hands than mine, you know, that was one issue. And I know guys used to go in and cut these frames out, thin them down, cut in deep in there for that middle finger to get that cut in there just a little deeper for comfort, round them up. I never did that with mine, still haven't done it to this, because I don't know, maybe I'm not just a big fan of all of that stuff. But as far as everything is concerned with this, the ergonomics on this gun is still comfortable. And I know they did do that finger cut out here on the 5. And that's basically to get those hard jams out of there, to reach in there and get that grip underneath that floor plate of that magazine, help rip that thing out. If it gets a little jammed, you have a small malfunction. But ergonomics on this gun is still very, very comfortable to shoot. As it being pretty much stock. I've got some mods on this, guys. If you want to see the mods that I've done, you take a look at the card right here, and it'll show you the mods that I did on this. And I set these mods up to my hand, my specification, and my feel. Number 4, safety. I am not a fan. Right now, I'm going to tell you, I am not a fan of thumb safeties on firearms. I am not a fan of those at all. Main reason is because I do not believe in having a thumb safety on a firearm under stressful situation at that imminent moment to where you have to draw your firearm to save your life. I am not a fan of that, because if you don't practice that mind and muscle memory and get those refined motor skills on that, hitting that thumb safety every time you draw to click it off and fire, I'm telling you guys, you will fail every time. And that can be crucial. That can be a life or death situation right there for not hitting that thumb safety. I would love to show you the video. I can't find that video. If I had it, it's been years ago. It's been well over 20 years, to where there was a jeweler. He had his concealed gun, carried it. Guy came in, all shit happened. Started to go down. The guy was trying to rob him. The guy pulled his gun, and he said he pressed the trigger and nothing happened. He forgot to kick the thumb safety off of his gun. He forgot to kick that off. And that's why his gun never fired. He said he had the guy and he pulled the drop on him to fire, but he kept pressing and nothing happened. Didn't practice kicking off that thumb safety. Ever since then, before then, I've just never been a fan of thumb safeties, okay? But Glock's design, as far as this 3-point safety system within the trigger, the connector rod, all the way into the plunger release in here for it with a firing pin. There's 3 points of safety in here, which is excellent for a Glock, which also leads down to the practicality of it, the simplicity of it, to where you can just press this thing and fire. Number 5, durability. Glock has one of the best track records of any handgun out there with durability. The abuse that these things can take, man, is amazing. That they can take the abuse that they can and still pick this thing up and fire every single time. Every time you kick it, beat it, bury it, jam it in anything like that, man. If this thing can rack and that slide can rack, nothing else is damaged. This thing will pick up and fire every single time. And that's one thing that I truly, truly appreciate, especially for Glock. It's simple to clean. It's very, very simple to oil. All the mechanics in this thing all function with the least amount of basic care or keep. I mean, you can be neglectful if you want. And, you know, most of us are really anal about when we clean our firearms. We make sure everything is clean. I go through this thing, clean the lint out of it, and everything is ready to rock. But with the least amount of oil, least amount of care, this thing is durable. every single time. Every single time. God, love it. Number 6, dependable. Along with durability, it's dependable. As I said, with it being abused, everything, the most that you do with kicking these guns around, man, it's still dependable. This thing is fired. I have friends of mine in the military, police officers on different parts all around here, really. Got a lot of guys on the law enforcement side of this thing that I've known for years. Most of us all agree when it comes down to dependability, durability. This is why the military has now took on, if I remember right, they took on the contract for Glock now and basically switched over. I don't think they carry the Beretta anymore. I'm not sure, but their main service piece, if I do remember right, has now been Glock. And I think it was the thing between either Smith & Wesson and the Glock, if I remember right, or so. And I know the Navy, I think they had SIGs. They carried those for a while too. I think they switched over. I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, guys, but I think they're in the military have switched over to Glock. But as I said, the dependability of this firearm, drop it, submerge it in water, let it sit in there forever, pick it back out, man, and just start wrapping shots. Just start banging these shots. Man, every single time. You just can't beat that dependability on it. Number 7, parts. Parts for a Glock, man, are first of all, not hard to come by. 2, not expensive. They're really not that expensive to get parts for this gun to replace anything that may break in this thing. They're easy accessible, easy to get to, easy to work on too. That's another thing about a Glock, good Lord. This gun is extremely easy to work on too. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this thing out and to do maintenance repair work on a Glock. It's, God, I mean, you just can't beat it. You can't beat as far as the parts of this thing. You know, and I'm talking getting parts for, any 1911, basically like Kimber. If you're reaching out there for anything that costs a lot of money, to get on that high end up there with SIGs, HKs, you start getting on the high end of those firearms there, man. Those parts, even the parts, not just the gun itself is expensive, the parts are expensive for them too. So, parts for a Glock, can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. Number 8, accessories. Accessories. Where can I begin with this thing? Accessories for a Glock are almost endless. It's almost endless. Glock is the most accessorized handgun on the market, hands down. It is the most accessorized handgun on the market. There is no other gun that I know of that even I had and owned that. I hear something out here? There's no other handgun that I know on the market that has more available accessories for it than a Glock. I mean, you just almost anything you think of, you can put a Glock in, you can put on a Glock, run it. It is by far the most accessorized gun out there. Number 9, availability. Glock is also a very available gun. Even the newest models that come out, because Glock sells so well and they have for years, if a new model comes out and it flies off the shelf, believe me, there's another order, another stockpile of them coming in very, very quickly behind what they sell. They don't stay in back order very long at all. And even the newest models, when it came even to the Gen 4, even down here to the Gen 5, this gun is still available. Even the Glock 43X, when it came out, sold, boom, they had another stock come right through, sold, another stock comes through. So this gun is always available. Glock still has an available line of products, and every model they have is available. Well, I can't say almost every, because if you're looking for the 10 mil, which I think that's the 34, if I remember right, that's going to be hard. It'll be real hard to get. Don't quote me. I think if I remember right, it's the Glock 34. That's a 10 mil, if I believe. Even if I'm wrong, put it in the comments, man. Give me the correction on it. But off the top of my head, I think that's it. It's going to be hard to come by. But outside of that, as far as in the 19, this gun is always around. If it sells, it's next one coming out. I've never had an issue trying to buy a 19. Never had an issue. Even when I bought the Gen 4, when it came out, bought the Gen 4, got rid of that one, got the Gen 5. Either one, they were there, right there, ready to buy. So availability, hell, just go anywhere. Finally, number 10, cost. This is by far, for everything that you can do, everything that you get in a Glock, everything that I just named off, simplicity, practicality, man, ergonomics, everything that goes along with it, dependability, durability, all of that. Accessories, parts, the whole nine, everything that it goes around the whole realm of a Glock, man. The cost, you still can't beat the cost. This gun is still $500, 520, 530, 450. I mean, I haven't seen one for EDC for every day. It's still a mid-range gun, man, and and everything that goes along with it makes it so affordable that it's kind of, you really just, it's hard to look past it when you want the best of something that has a track record to prove it. And like I said, it works out good for me, but I'm still a 1911 man. I am. I always will be. So, but when it comes down to the polymer frame guns here for EDC, for typical EDC carry, man, honestly, like I said, for everything that I named off that I could think of, and this is just a list that I put off just right off the top of my head. I didn't even think about this. I just wrote it down. I just like, bam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and went right down the list all the way down to 10. I could put some more on there, but I don't want to drag this thing out too long. But for cost, my God, you can't beat the cost, man. You can't. For this and everything, like I said, that's offered for this gun for $500, none of this can be beat. The skills are still strong out here, man, I swear. Can't beat it. Can't beat it at all. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up, man. I appreciate it. Seriously, leave comments behind also as well. And let me know what you think, man, because like I said, guys, we're all fanboys about certain ones. And I get it. I totally get it. Some guns work great for others. Some don't work. Some, I have friends of mine that don't like Glock because it just doesn't fit right. But as far as for the 19 and a double stack handgun, EDC, man, I think Glock is on point. It is on point. So till the next one, guys, hey, make sure you always tune into my channel here when I got new videos coming up, and I'll get another one out to you here soon. Until then, I think I'm gonna start changing my slogan, because I still believe in being armed as a mindset, not just physical condition. But in today's climate, we've all got to make sure that we stick together and join together on this and uphold our constitutional right. We have to, because this is serious. We've got political players right now that they're wild dreams, wild-eyed dreams. You got one who's running off at the mouth, basically just shooting his mouth off, saying what the other ones are thinking. The other ones want to do the same thing, but they want to systematically do it. They just don't want to blurt it out and just blot it out and just spit it out and say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to be. Believe that. So my new slogan, we the people shall not be infringed. Till next time, guys. See you.